lots of energy in the room. You know, I think for me, it's a great relief to know that there's people really interested in leadership and ready to lean in and grow and take on some of the challenges we face. So I think we're in good hands. Well, as I shared in the panel, I think leadership is the catalyst or the governor to success. And so we need great leaders with courage, leaders ready to ask the hard questions. And frankly, the world ahead, is going to be different than the one that we have had in the past. As a system, not only is financial services changing, but I think the role of leaders and the choices we're going to have to make with imperfect data is going to challenge the status quo. And so I'm thrilled to have leaders engaging in that conversation right here. And this network, from my experience, is probably the ones that will rely on each other to make those hard choices going forward. So yeah, it's very exciting. One of my mentors told me one time that people can't do that which they can't imagine. And so seeing folks at the front, people like Emily and others who have started this program, help others imagine what they might be able to do, right? It gives you courage. And picturing that and hearing authentic stories from leaders, I'm glad that there was a human library with a range of leaders coming to the table with different backgrounds and stories. That lets others imagine what they might do. How might they participate in leadership conversations, in strategic choices, and maybe a little bit less fear around making mistakes or trying something that's different. And so I know in my own career, the people I met in these kinds of conversations are the ones I still reach out to today. So it's an important foundation, I think, for building leadership capability. I like the little example that was done at the beginning of the last keynote where close your eyes, everybody point north. And it was just this little symbol that, as a leader, I think I'm articulate, I think I'm clear about where we need to go, but everybody brings their own bias, their own perspective and interpretation to the table. And so as we go into strategy planning with our board and executive, I'm going to try and keep that in mind as I go back into Libro to say, how do we best align both in communication, direction, thinking influence, so that when you ask folks in Libro, which direction are we going, which direction is north, that we're not all pointing in different directions. I think it's important that you build the toolkit for leaders that is a couple of things. It has to be data informed or based in science or research, and there's lots of great tools and examples. But it needs to be scalable. So it should be something that they can do in their team, but then as they grow and emerge in their leadership, something they could do with a line of business or with the enterprise. And finally, it should be practical. Like something they can actually go and take back. Sometimes it's too academic or it sounds too difficult or complex. So find ways to build the toolkits of leaders that is actually based in science and data, not just somebody's idea, but that's scalable and that's practical. And I think for me, I've kept that toolkit alive for 25 years and I still go back to some of those in my leadership today.